The Trump administration imposed tariffs on the European Union, Canada and Mexico. The US has ended an exemption, meaning those countries will now be subject to a 25% tariff on steel products and 10% on aluminium.
We've already been punished. Existing tariffs on South African goods remain in place. US correspondent Nick Harper reports.
The US says this is all about national security, a way to protect American workers. But others see it as a way to punish some of America's closest allies. The US announced its decision to impose the 25% tariffs on steel and 10% duties on aluminium back in March. But it then said that the EU, Canada and Mexico would be temporarily exempt. Well, that exemption has now run out and the US administration has decided not to extend it, meaning an estimated $23 billion worth of steel and aluminium entering the United States will now be subject to these increased tariffs. Well, South Africa, of course, hasn't been quite so lucky. There was no initial exemption period. The country's steel and aluminium exports have faced those tariffs for the last few months. And that's a big departure from the previous US-South Africa agreement. Under AGOA, the African Growth and Opportunity Act, South African exporters did not have to pay duties to gain access to the US market. So now more countries are joining South Africa on the tariff list. But with the European Union, Canada and Mexico all threatening retaliatory measures worth billions of dollars, there are fears that the all-out global trade war is now underway. Nick Harper, SABC News, New York.